The weather here is almost as if I'm in Maryland. It is hot. We have Miss Winnie's brother. He's here. I don't know if he's connected yet. Junior. Look, I call him. He's trying to get through. Miss Winnie's brother, Junior, across the road from you. Remember I told you when I first met Miss Winnie and she told me that she's got brothers and that in England. Junior is trying to connect now. Okay. Yeah. Hello, Amina. You probably can't hear me, but I'm going to unmute you. I tell you that England, woo, everybody must be outside enjoying themselves. Amina.
Wow.
Yes.
It's warm here.
It's very hot here. Why do I sound delayed? Am I echoing? Yeah, I'm good. Okay. All right. Remember this dress suit when I last saw you in Barbados?
Yes.
Even Nene said to me, Mom, I remember that dress. I said, yeah, it's a long time since I've worn it. God. Yes, so thank you, my darling. Huh?
I heard that they're opening school next month.
Yeah. Well, some of the kids are back already. One of my friends that's coming on the platform, she's back at school. She had 8 children, I think she said, came in today.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, the first of
I think it's too soon for kids. Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. What I'm gonna do soon, because I know you're at the job, I'll mute you as well, but you can hear. Let me just see. Unmute. Amina, can you hear me? Amina is not. Mr. McKetty, I can see you're trying to give you a call. Yeah. Oh, yes. Greetings, everybody. Greetings. So today. Ooh. You know what? Let me just shut down this one because I don't want no background interference. I can see that I'm moving a bit slow. Welcome, everyone. I know that you're... Okay, I see you. Hey, June. Here's this thing. Come on, man. Mr. McKetty.
Hello, Diane.
Hi, darling. Thank you for joining me. I may sound a bit static.
Okay, let me adjust this camera.
Yeah.
You see me?
I can see you, sir.
Sit down. What is it about, Diane? Because you didn't give me much information.
Well, the topic, as I wait, go on.
How many people are hosting? The last one I saw, I think you sent me a video, and there was 3 hosts, you and 2 other guys.
Yeah, today it's me. They join me every 2 weeks.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So, am I coming across clearly, Junior?
Yes. The sound is a little bit bitty. How do I sound?
Yeah, you sound cool. But you know what? I was reading something today that said to me that because Zoom belongs to America and it's not international,
Yes.
there's going to be like a delay from probably their satellite to us. So it's like I'm going to be inconsistent, if you see what I mean.
Okay. Isn't there another format that you can use which is more local to us? Maybe something in Europe.
Yes, yeah, but I didn't realize that until someone sent me that information today. So it all makes sense when I'm watching back and seeing the delay in different people who are speaking.
Well, it shows me like connected in 2 different places. What's going on here?
Yeah, because wherever you've connected, did you try using your phone before?
I did do it with my phone, but I don't know if my phone is still logged
Yeah,
on to it.
It is. It is.
Oh, so let me come out of it if I can find it.
Yeah.
Can't be logged on in 2 places. Where is that on the damn phone now?
Remember, Junior, that I told you my best friend lives opposite your sister in Maryland, Miss Winnie.
Oh, can she see me also?
She's here. She's on the platform, but she's at work. Not your sister.
Oh, not my sister Winsome.
No, but if she was at home, Suzette could have gone and called her for you.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, because she lives.
Oh, she's at work. Okay.
Oh, she lives close to Winsome.
Huh?
Across the
She
street.
lives across the road from Winsome.
Yeah,
Oh, I see.
yeah. She's waving at you, June.
Oh, now I see you. Sorry, I was actually looking at my phone. Hello, Suzette.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm trying to log out of my mobile. Oh, here we are. Meeting in progress. Let me click onto it.
Oh, hi, Marilyn. Hi, Amina.
Wow, I'm actually in 2 places.
Hi. I thought I was on the wrong thing because I saw my man sitting there and I think, oh, I logged out. And then I heard your voice and I logged back in again. Sorry.
Right, so.
It's funny how the world is big, but it's small. Because I know Junior for as long as I can remember, and
Okay.
my bestie up the top, Suzette, lives in Maryland.
Right.
So when I went to visit her one day, she introduced me to her neighbor across the street.
Okay.
And we just got talking and stuff. Hey,
Uh-huh.
oh, you're on. Hold on. No, wait. What is this? Hold up. What is
There
this?
you go. I've left the one on my mobile phone.
I'm there thinking, wait a minute, I don't know what's going on here. So hold on a second. I've got them playing in the background. I need to downsize. 1 second. Oh, Lord. Where is this coming from? Okay, see it here. I just do.
Should I log out and log back in?
No. I'm here. I just had to close. I had the YouTube in the background.
I hope I'm not going to be the only male participant on this.
Don't you want all this women love? If you are the only male.
But that type of attention, not so public.
Listen, I know you have a lot to add, Mr. McKenzie. But you know what? I'm just grateful for the support. I think, with the weather, Everybody out there in them
Yeah,
shirts.
the weather's so nice. Yeah, even me have on shirt.
Oh, stop. Bless him.
But that's okay. Respect for those who are here.
I was actually gonna go out, but because the weather's so good and because of this COVID thing, I'm trying to restrict myself and be good.
Good boy.
And adhere to the government's guidelines.
Good boy. Good man. Good man. Good man. Good man. Anyway, welcome to episode 8. And you guys could have been anywhere you wanted to be, but you chose to spend it with me. So I'm going to try to be mindful and maintain this hour window that we have so that you can all go out and enjoy the rest of the evening, because I want to go for a leisurely walk myself eventually. Today's subject or topic is called the process of elimination. But before I get into it, I just want to honor today's platform because we're celebrating, or it's Mental Health Awareness Week in here. I'm not sure, I'm sure it's internationally, but I know we celebrate it here in England. And mental health is a very big, I have a very big passion for mental health for many reasons, as I'm sure one can imagine. But I also know that I have a handful of friends who are in the system and those who have recovered from really losing their minds. Hi, Helena. Susan, look, Helena.
Yeah.
Annette's sister.
Can't hear you for some reason. Hang on.
That's all right. I can see you. Can you see Susan?
Hi. Hang on. I can't. Hold on. I'm not sure why I can't hear you.
Well, I can hear you. And
my
all
volume
right.
is. What's going on with my volume today?
I'm gonna mute her. Let me just let her know I'm gonna mute her.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute myself anyway.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yes, you can hear you, Dee.
All right. No problem. Yes. So, as I said, this week is Mental Health Week, and the process of elimination, I think, is a very good topic to use because it has so many different strands associated to it. Can you hear me, Junior?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
All right, I'm gonna mute everybody, and then when the time comes for me to open it up, you can jump on. Yeah.
So it will automatically people will automatically hear us when we talk, or you have to individually unmute people.
I will unmute so that everyone can speak.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to drown out the background noise. Yeah. Okay. Right. Yes, as I was saying, the process of elimination is a very big topic that covers so many different areas of our lives. And we all know the key words in there: process and elimination. And this whole season that we're going through with the lockdown, or the shielding for some, will give, or should have given, or has given many people the opportunity to have to really think about where they are and the things that matter. And if you've allowed those to take precedence in your way of thinking, then you must have, and this is, I speak this with a guarantee, you must have hopefully come up with things or areas in your life that you have to eliminate in order to grow, most importantly. And I always think about the type of topics that I'm going to use because I want people to know that we are moving into a whole new world. Well, moving into it, we're already in it. And there are we all have baggage, whether we want to accept it or not. We all have baggage, and we all have a place where we have clutter. And that clutter is our environment, probably where we live in, probably things in our mind, even our office. In the desk, there's paper and stuff that we just constantly keep putting things away. And we need to understand how important elimination really is. Some people find it offensive when you talk about having to eliminate something or even someone, but in the grand scheme of things, elimination is actually a healthy way of you taking an inventory of your life. Yeah. So without further ado, let me just do some housekeeping rules because I can see the platform building up. If you would like to be kept in the loop, I don't know how familiar you are with Zoom, but we have a chat line. So if a chat room, if you hover your mouse around the screen, you'll see there's a chat room. If you click on the chat, it opens up and it allows you, if you want to stay anonymous, you can inbox me privately, or if you're not too shy, you can send the message and everyone can see it, and then I will read it and then I will throw it out there later on. I've muted the background just because I don't like interference, and it kind of is it's irritating when I can hear noises going on. So, though I approach each platform with the utmost level of respect for you, the viewers, for this I am mindful that there may be topics discussed that are sensitive and personal to you. However, I welcome your opinions, and I would appreciate if you could refrain from any hostile comments as I endeavor to maintain a holistic platform to be openly discussed freely and from a place of authentic maturity. If I please you, do tell others. If I don't, tell me. Last but not least, I hope you enjoy tonight's topic. So, sorry, but I can't take this call. What do I mean? What do I mean? Well, I've given you the example of this statement because it can be taken in a variety of ways. And I'm going to give you the definition of what the dictionary text talks about, process of elimination. And I've kind of narrowed it down into my way. So I always like to give a definition. So just to jerk one's senses, because I have arrived at a place where everybody has their own ideal of a thing. Because what it could mean to me, it may mean something totally different to you. And on my last platform, my co-host Scotty mentioned that there's nothing like a silly answer. So please don't feel that you have to, answer or have anything to say. You just might be a good listener. But if you do, I welcome your questions. So, the process of elimination, it is a method to identify an entity of interest among several ones, excluding all other entities. So I'm going to give you a list of them, and then I'm going to open up, and hopefully people will want to share. If not, I will just continue. Right, question. Are you in some place that you do not want to be? Does your attitude need assessing? Are you hanging with a certain person that is stagnating your progress? Are you eating way too much that you can feel, let alone see it every time you look in the mirror or even when you dress? Here are a few to name but a few. Now, you don't have to tell me, as it might be personal to you. However, if you choose to share, my question to you is this. How dangerous is that thing that you need to eliminate to your mental health, your sanity, and your peace of mind? And number two, what steps have you taken or do you need to take to begin the process? And last but not least, is fear stopping you. So it's about identifying the cause of action. So I'm going to unmute all of you. And I gave you 4 questions, but you may have something entirely different to what I've asked you. So I'm going to say, for me, I was speaking to a friend of mine, Marilyn, who's on this platform, and I was telling her how uncomfortable I feel about my weight. And she said to me, what are you going to do about it? And I thought about it, and I did make a start. I said, okay, I'm going to reduce, because I'm at home now. I'm not as active as I would be if I was at work. So I've put on weight and I can feel it. It feels uncomfortable for me. And I guess it's not a case of anything other than I'm contented. I'm very, very contented in my life right now. But I know that I'm feeling heavier. So I took action, and I began to look at the things that I'm doing during the day, what I'm eating. And because I know I'm a nocturnal person, I'm up very late, and therefore I eat late. I may grab a snack or 2 or 3, and that's it. And because I'm not burning it off, it's sitting inside of me. So for me, my elimination right now is to focus on the type of things I'm eating, not eat at the times that I'm eating, and exercise. So today is my 3rd day. I started on Monday. And if I tell you, the 3rd day in, I feel so good in myself. I actually train 3 times for the day. I don't eat after 6 o'clock, or haven't eaten after 6 o'clock. And I'm not just saying it because I'm trying to sell you something. I'm saying it because I know it's what I feel. There's just a different energy that I'm generating. So that was what, for me, the process of elimination meant for me, eliminating the foods that I was eating, and making a start. And I wanted to make that start ASAP, so I began on Monday. That's mine. I don't know what yours is, or if you have one that you would like to share. Thank you, Marilyn. I can see you clapping in the chat room there. So
I'm proud of you.
yeah, and I appreciate that, because that is something that is encouraging as well, when you have somebody who's honest and will say to you and not attack you about the position that you're in, because some people have a way of saying things that rub you the wrong way and make you feel so yucky within yourself that you just, it's like when I used to smoke, right? And I'd see on the TV, they'd put this advert up with a cigarette box talking about death. And Lord, if I tell you, so the thing made me want to light up a cigarette, because it just had this way of messing with my thoughts. But obviously at the time, I was not in a good place anyway, so I shouldn't have been smoking. But I reached for this cigarette because I felt that was the outlet that I needed to give me peace. But at the same time, it weren't giving me peace. It was messing with my breathing and everything. So those kind of influences will dictate the route you go in making those process of eliminations, because they can have a positive impact or a negative impact. And when I said that, I saw some people shaking their head in agreement. So I'd like to hear from yourself, if you would, your experience of your attempt to, you know, take on this process of elimination? Anybody?
Okay. All right. So the past 5 weeks, I'm quite proud of myself. I'm going to pat yourself on the back. So I've got a bit of a stomach, or more than a bit of a stomach. So that's the only part of me that well, the whole body needs exercise, in mind, body, and soul. But for years, I kept on saying I need to do something about my stomach. I've, you know, only time I put on my little dresses, this tummy, you know, got to wear this girdle thing. So a friend of mine, so she's a school teacher, so we go out very early in the morning. About 5 weeks ago, she said to me, because she knows I wake up early, she said, I went out exercising this morning, I was going to call you, but I didn't. So from that Tuesday up until this week, we go out early in the morning, we go to my local park, and we have a routine where we exercise. We have a workout that we do, and then we also meditate and we pray as well. And I also do Facebook Live. I've got into this habit of doing Facebook Live because it's about encouraging other people as well. That's my aim. I say it's not about Diane. Yeah, it's not. And I've discovered this facility where you can actually bring someone on live with you. So the other day, other morning, Jasmine Dell came on live, and I actually interviewed Jasmine as well about the Brent factor. So exercise, it's about the mind, body, and soul. So, and also in terms of eating, Diana, I'm on that journey as well, because when I come home, so first thing in the morning, I have my lime and my ginger. I've had that for quite a long time now. And so when I come home, I've got into this habit of having fresh fruit. So I'm having granola, I have strawberries, I have bananas, and I bought fresh apricots as well. So it's that sense of that's a sense of achievement. I'm also on obviously a journey with in terms of my emotions as well. But I talk about my emotions, and I've got a good network around me. But there's still a lot of improvement. I talk about looking at that, you know, the man in the mirror. It's something that we need to keep doing. We need to keep, and I've said it on I found my voice, this Facebook Live thing, yeah. And I said we need to look at the man in the mirror. We can't just look at the man in the mirror once. It's a constant thing, and you know, and it's all about helping one another as well. And these platforms, Diana, I have to keep thanking you because you know they're very powerful. Yeah, so thank you,
Diana.
You know,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that contribution. Is there anybody else?
It's funny, Diane, you just spoke about the man in the mirror. I had that conversation with Diane not too long ago. Diane, isn't it, Diane? Not too long ago, I said, when you look in the mirror, you have to know, what do you want for yourself? You understand? Knowing your self-worth, and also your friends as well. Knowing who your true friends are, how you can speak to them, trust them, and you know that it's going to stay with them. So there's a lot of things that you need to sort of like declutter. Friends, your even your colleagues as well. It's a lot. It's all about what you want for yourself and where you're going. What's your aim in life? What's your plan? Do you have a plan? You know. So that's what I'd like to share.
That's it. The plan is very important because that's the process in order for progress. Yeah. And sometimes we don't know where to start, and we don't know how to start. And most of the time, most often than not, we don't identify ourselves with having anything to eliminate. So that could be the actual big problem, because we are people or species that like to hold on to things. We just have this tendency where we like to hold on to things and hoard, whether it's in our home or whether it's up here. And we don't realize just how stagnant we become with all of these things that we're holding on to, right? And our environment dictates so much of us as an individual. So if, for instance, we our house is just, you know, I speak about clutter a lot. Or we have got, you know, our minds filled with, I'm going to use this as an example because I think this one is funny. And, whoops, sorry. And when I heard it, I looked at the person in shock. So I was visiting a church one day and I heard the pastor say how much people he sleeps with at night. And he said it with the most calmest look on his face, as if it was okay. And I thought, what is this? What do you mean how much people? No, he said how much people he goes to bed with at night. Yeah. And I thought, what kind of church have I walked into? So I sat, I thought, okay, not judging anybody, because anyway. And when he went to explain himself, he then said what he meant by that. And he said as he lies down to sleep, he goes to bed with the bills, family problems, if he gets a call from a friend, problems in Jamaica, that's what he used, that's where he was coming from, his job. You know, so we can all be a witness and a testament to, as we lie our heads down on our pillow, we're carrying, or maybe we're better at it now, but we're going to bed with all these problems, all these worries and problems. You understand me? And these are the things that weigh us down and we don't even realize it. Yeah? They weigh us down and it becomes, we can't even find the space in our own mind to deal with our own problems because we've become overwhelmed by, you know, all these things just coming and loading and piling up on top of us. Yeah. And we don't realize how much they suffocate us, and we can't move forward because we're too busy trying to find solutions and resolutions to everybody else's stuff. That our stuff slowly but surely gets pushed to the back, and it gets so far back, it disappears. And before you know it, what should have been something so a priority to us vanishes. So these are the type of eliminations that I'm talking about, in terms of how simple it is for us to hoard different things and in different places. And the elimination side of it is something, as I said, I use the word an inventory. We need to stop, be still, and be silent, and look around us and look at every aspect of our life and do a whole sweep out, a whole clear out. And it requires a process. And before I go any further, I'm just going to read a comment from the group. Someone has written, to challenge myself, I have learned to start with the things that I find the most challenging. I have finally completed my online training after 3 weeks of delay. And I just want to give that person a round of applause, because one thing we don't do for ourselves either is we don't clap for ourselves. And I hope Jasmine joins us, because that is something that she taught me recently. We don't celebrate our success to ourselves enough. We like to share it with other people. And when we don't get the response we were hoping to get, we kind of become disheartened. But we need to celebrate it with ourselves first. Okay? Someone else also has said, as well as people more empathic, it's so difficult to focus on us. As well as people more empathic is so difficult to focus on us. Why? And I understand that. When you're the type of person who is very caring, very loving, very empathetic, that word is just, yeah, you have a lot of empathy for the well-being of others. That can be, that can impact you in a lot of ways, because you're so attached, you become so attached to the well-being of someone else that you can't detach, and it affects you without you even realizing it. So that empathy, when you're that person who is just an empath, you are, you know, number one for being a hoarder of other people's emotions. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with it, but you have to be able to learn to detach yourself from stuff that is external. Yeah, and it's not easy to do. You know, it's not easy to do, but it can be done. It can be done, and there are ways and there are tools and guidelines to help people who are that way inclined. And I can speak with my hand on my heart, because I was one of them people, and I still am, but because I've disciplined myself now, and that took a lot of hard work, because you are this person for the majority of your life. You've been that way inclined, and then all of a sudden you realize you have to stop, and you become, guilt kind of takes over you. But eventually, depending how much you see yourself as important and as the priority, will determine how long it's going to take you to be able to eliminate whatever it is that's overwhelming you. Yeah. So again, I see we have some people joining us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know I'm smiling. I know she probably can't see me, but I know Maureen is here. I'm not going to call, and Janisa, I don't know who Janisa is, but hello, 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 hello. Stephanie, I don't know if you can see Suzette. Suzette's on there, if you can see her. And then we have our only Mel, my good friend, Junior. But that's what support is.
I'm multitasking, princess.
That's all right, my darling. The fact that you are here, I love you for that, because this is where we're moving into in our lives. You see support? I'm just going to say, you eliminate them people that are not clapping for you.
That's right. That's right. Here, here, here.
Yeah.
You gotta keep the circle of friends to the real people that are in your lives, and try to eliminate, as Diane is saying, the negativity and those influences that are only going to bring you down. That's what I'll say.
And what you said, Junior, is very valuable. And this is what I mean when I talk about there's a fear side of things, because people don't know how to tell people, thank you for the time that we've been in this friendship thing, but I'm going to identify some things that I feel, or this is me speaking generically, that are stagnating our friendship. And myself and Marilyn had this conversation earlier on today as well. And it's a great area for many. So it's a great area for many to approach, because they don't like upsetting people. Now, one thing about these platforms, and the reason why I created them, is because I've arrived at a place where I'm authentic, transparent, and unfiltered. and I can afford to be honest, number one, because that's something that you have to take ownership in your life for. Honesty. You've got to be prepared to know that when you address what the problem is, as long as you address it with diplomacy, with tact and diplomacy, then hopefully the person on the receiving end is not going to feel disheartened by your truth. And if people were more truthful in their relationships and their friendships, and even the relationship you have with yourself, you wouldn't have to endure the majority of the things that you go through. And I've learned along the way, and I have some dear people on this platform. I don't know if Maureen can hear me, but I'm going to call her name because I know she's there.
I can hear you.
Hey, sis.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, darling. Thank you.
Maureen, bless her.
Yes, yeah. Maureen and Marilyn and Suzette's disappeared. They are the women who, on this new journey that I've embarked on, have been key components in my growth. I'm just going to mute you. If you want to say something, you're welcome to. Yeah.
Yep.
And I hung on to many a people because I always blamed myself for occasions when there had been a silence in our relationship or our friendship. And I would always say, what did I do? Oh, hi, cuz. I've just seen her message. Yeah. And even this cousin here that's on there, she's another one that can testify. And I spent many years of my life just questioning, what have I done? 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 Because no one was honest enough to ever say to you, I realize that, we haven't done X, Y, Z. You have a routine with your friends, and then sometimes it goes off course. And then when you realize it has gone like that, and then you approach the person, because sometimes you are the one that says, you make the effort to make that call, but you just sense there's this lack of communication, and you feel it. If you're being honest, you feel it. So you make yourself kind of exit the call because you're not getting from it what you hope you'll get. So I want to open up now, because there's no way that I'm the only one on this platform who what I'm saying hasn't resonated with somebody at some stage of their life. And I'm really hoping that, Junior shared and spoke about honesty and getting rid of people. And it's not like when we say getting rid of people, we don't mean it. And I don't mean it. I mean it in the nicest way, because I'm not just talking people, I'm talking about things. Yeah. I'm talking about things, what we attach ourselves to. I'm even talking about attitude. You understand me? Because we have got attitudes that just do not work. But we have to identify those attitudes, someone has said open, honest communication is essential. Yes, it is. Honesty is the key. Yes, it is. But unfortunately, it takes for sometimes the rug to get ripped from under our feet before that level of honesty presents itself. So, what do you have to say? Because I will just keep talking, because I can talk for the whole of England. Diane thinks she can beat me, but she can't.
I'm going to jump in for you there, Diana.
Okay, Mo, go for it.
Just for a quick one. I think one of the key things is actually letting go of the ego. We all have the ego. Okay, you're looking at yourself, you're looking at your friend or what have you, and rather than being just concerned that your friend is okay, that should be the key thing. Not all the crap and the fluff that goes, that that we kind of end up with. It's like, why ain't she talking to me? Why isn't this? And I did this for her, and I did that, and then you start going on with this ego thing. We all need to drop the ego. You need to once you love and respect yourself and you know who you are, okay, you can let go of that ego. And then so a lot of times I don't talk to my friends for, it could be weeks, it could be months sometimes. And I know that I could always pick up the phone and, like it was yesterday that I spoke to them. And that is because I know myself, I know who I am. If you're a true friend, you will know who I am, you know what I'm about. So they shouldn't be that awkward feeling. I think if you get an awkward feeling with somebody, they're really not on the same page as you are. And you really have to look at that friendship or that relationship for what it is, and not try to make it something that it isn't. Because there are people who I know that I've seen. I can't say it's really happened to me, or maybe it has, where really you shouldn't have been friends. Really shouldn't have been friends. And you just got to admit it. You're not going in the same places. You're not on the same page. You need to let it go. Simple as that.
Sorry. Keep going.
Yeah. So that's all my comment is letting go of the ego and knowing who you are as a person, and respecting the other person also. It's not just they have lives also. They've got things going on in their lives. So yeah, I can end that there. That's all I need to say about that. I think it's looking at your, instead of being so self-critical about yourself and like what have I done, is knowing who you are, and it's how are they? Are they okay? What can I do to help you? And that's what the friendship should be like.
And
anyone welcome to jump in.
I totally agree with what you say. I think it's important, number one, to know yourself. I think we also have to be open to constructive criticism. But if you know yourself and there is constructive criticism, I think you can accept that. But it has to be constructive criticism. You've got to recognize constructive criticism, because people will criticize you, for whatever reasons. If they've got their own issues, they might have something against you. So it's knowing who you are, and it's having the right people around you. And I can honestly say that I'm blessed to have, my best friend has been in my life since I was a little girl, and I'm blessed to have many other good people in my life. So I say there's levels of friendship. But one thing I do believe is people come into our lives for a reason, whether it's good or bad. There's always something to learn. And with me, I've had to eliminate quite a few people from my life. But I say to people, never hate, always have love in your heart. But sometimes we just have to distance ourselves from certain people, eliminate them, whether they come back into our lives, whatever. But as long as you knowing yourself, and that self-love is so important.
Oh yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely. But also, when you in friendship, I know you use the term constructive criticism. Really, when you get to a point where you are really close or on the same page as somebody else, it isn't criticism. It's the person, you're only offering advice that may help them. I try to stay away from criticizing. It's more a case of, okay, how about looking at it this way? Or there are several ways of looking at it. If you take this route, you're going to find that this is what your reaction is going to be. So maybe that's what's going on there. So it's kind of like giving them some more tools to kind of look at what that situation is. Yeah. And so you're not actually criticizing, you're just advising.
So I do a bit of both, if I'm honest with you. Because I'm one of these people, so I am totally honest. I sometimes say what people wouldn't say. So I mean, I even spoke with someone today, and I gave them feedback about what I thought, but again, what I thought about them, not in a horrible way, but looking at ways in which, because I help anybody, and because I've got people around me that help me in terms of, you know, improving, self-improvement, whatever. But I say, well, this is what I feel. You know, this is why I feel that this is not happening for you. But at the end of the day, I always say to people, I can give you advice, yeah, but the choice is yours. So I will still use that constructive criticism, because I do. I say I do, and I welcome that construct, because, you know, my best friend, for example, she's totally honest with me. She'll say, wait, I mean, I'll give you one example. So I remember when my mum and dad passed away, at their funeral, I remember saying, oh, I can't do this, there's no way I can go up and do the reading, yeah. And, you know, my best friend said, don't say you can't, you can do, you know, just try, at least try. Don't ever say that you can't. And at my mum and dad's funeral, I was able to go. I remember her saying to me, you didn't need me up there with you, yeah, because as soon as it was your turn, you were up there. So it's looking, you know, so it's about people that know you, yeah, that, you know, look at, you know, sort of say to you, but don't say this or don't say that, at least try. It's about encouraging.
Oh yeah. Well, encouraging is it's not criticizing, that's helping you, that's advising you, that's saying that it's giving you that feeling that you can do something.
But when
it gives you some power.
But that so I don't know, maybe that wasn't a good example, but without going into too much detail about, you know, my friend that I spoke with today, you know, so I did criticize, but I tried to criticize in a constructive way. And that what I was saying, I know was taken on board. So I looked at areas which I thought, well, you know, that person, which I personally thought that person could improve on. But that's me thinking of you. However, somebody else may say totally different. They may say to you, you're doing wonderful. But the person I spoke with knows that I've got no malice, and they know me very well. So that criticism, yeah, they may take it. It's their choice whether they take it on board or not. So we all have choices, but I do criticize. You know, people know me, and I'm very open and honest.
And then your friends need to be on the same page as you and understand that, and you will know who those people are. And
I do. So I wouldn't speak to, you know, everyone like that. I have to. So in terms of giving advice, I mean, because I deal with young people as well. I speak with you've got to build up that rapport. You've got to understand and get to know that person. You know, what I would say to one person, I won't say to another. You have to understand. And I'm quite, you know, at sort of getting to that point where I can draw information and I feel brave enough to say things to people. And I would, those that know me, yeah, they know what to say. They know, because people are open and honest with me as well, those that know me.
Can I just jump in there and thank you both for your contribution? And I think a valuable thing that came up, what I depicted from the two of you, was people are at different learning paces. Yeah, everybody learns differently. Everybody arrives at a certain place at a different time. So when we find there's this conflict of interest that may sprout out in our friendship groups, it can put strain on the friendship. And the understanding that has derived from different conversations that I've had with women, men, younger than myself, my age, above me, it all leads to one thing. And it is, we learn at different paces. Some people stay stuck. They get caught up in this time warp. In fact, it's a comfort zone, which I always say this comfort zone is a danger zone. And when we get to a place where we recognize in this other person that we've come to this plateau, it's nothing to do with them. Do you understand me? We have to recognize that we have arrived at a growth where they are not entering into this next chapter with us. And the sooner we recognize that, the easier it should be for us to transition. So this is what I'm talking about. We like to hold on to things, and we like to rescue friendships that have died. You understand me? We all are moving at a different pace. Even the people that were there 20, 30 years ago, sometimes they have to stop and you have to keep going, or you have to stop and they have to keep going. And then it's somewhere along the line or along the way, you'll meet each other. Don't know where, don't know when, but there's a possibility that you may meet each other once you've caught up. But if you haven't, and in the moment when you're trying to get this person to see things your way and they just don't see things your way, it's time for you to leave it alone. Stop exhausting it, because you will find out that where you could have left it in a holistic way where you could come back, you've now gone like this, and you can't rescue it because you've parted on uneven terms where you think it's them and they think it's you, and then the truth never gets told, and then that what could have been a flourishing friendship becomes, you become enemies. Yeah, because we don't recognize when it's time to just call it a night. We keep finding all these things. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that, maybe it's this, maybe it's me. Did she say something? No, it's not. It's time to let go and move on. That's what elimination is. But we tend to see it as being trying to carry people with us in every chapter of our life. They have outgrown that chapter. It's like you trying to put on a pair of jeans that don't fit you no more, but because they were your favorite, you're still trying to pull them up your leg, squeeze up yourself, and gonna walk out there. You say to yourself, maybe if I put a bigger jumper on and don't do up the button, I can still wear them. That's what we do. Try to squeeze people in that we've outgrown, or try to squeeze things in that no longer fit, or honor our lives. So we have to take stock, and I'm going back to ownership of self, because we have to take an inventory of where we are. Every year, every 5 years, it's good to see how far we've come. Because if we just keep going and going and going and bringing people with us that shouldn't be with us, we could be a lot further than we are if we were to think, hold on a minute, what value is that person creating in my life, or what value is this thing creating in my life? Because everything has a sell-by date. Everything has an expiry date. Everything, yeah? Apart from love. Love doesn't expire. And that's love of self, yeah? Before anything else. So it's so fundamental, this process of elimination. We got to learn to let go. We got to learn to let go of our attitude towards things. Most importantly, our attitude towards ourselves, because we're the one that is getting the damage. The damage is going to happen to us because of the way in which we don't deal with whatever it is properly. We're going to be the one who is damaged by it. That person ain't going to lose no sleep. We are, yeah? So I don't want to spend too long on it being a person, but most often than not, it is. But I really want to look at the overall picture of, it's not just the person, it's our attitude towards our life. You understand me?
Absolutely.
So regardless of anything, we have to be honest to ourselves. It goes right back to ownership, accountability and responsibility. And a lot of the times we don't like to own up to our stuff. It's easy for us to blame and point the finger outwardly rather than us take stock and say, well, you know what? Maybe I need to, I don't know, decorate the house. Maybe my friends ain't coming around no more because my house is a mess. Who knows? You understand me? Maybe it's my attitude. Maybe I need to curb the way I say things. You know, it's not always fun. You know, it's not always a funny thing. Maybe they want to be serious about something, but I'm just taking it for some joke. You know, check your attitude, you know, and see if that attitude fits, because that attitude may or might have outgrown the conversation that it no longer fits. And when you can do that and be honest to yourself, because if you keep lying to you, they say you can lie to people some of the time. Yeah, is that how it goes? You can fool people some of the times, but you can't. If someone's happy to give me that full quote, then by all means go ahead. I can't remember it, but I'm sure you get the gist. You're only fooling yourself.
Some of the times, but not all of the times.
Okay then, thank you, sir. So yeah, I've got another comment in here. People can come to your life for a short time to teach you a lesson, or for life, or for a lifetime. Everything happens for a reason. And yes, just like this current pandemic, it's a season. People are reason, season, or a lifetime. And even if you've been friends for 30 years and you decide that you've become silent, that friendship will come right back if it's supposed to. But people come to teach us a lesson. They always come to teach us a lesson. And I'm glad that someone said that. Hold on, because there was something that I had. Oh God, it must have dropped down. 1 second. Okay, I don't know what I've done with it. It was to do with exactly that, with, you know, the relationships that come into our life. Let me see if I can get it right. The relationships that come into our life. Yeah, every relationship is the relationship you need at that time. How does that sit with you? Yeah? Again,
Yeah.
it says the same thing. A reason, a season, or a lifetime. Every relationship is what you need at that time. Was you going to say something more?
Yeah, hang on. I'm sorry, I'm in the kitchen here. Yeah, I was going to say, let me think about it now. It's, for me, I look at what I bring to the table, and I have an expectation, and this is the only expectation that I have, that somebody that will bring something to the table. It doesn't have to be the same thing, okay? But you can't enter into a friendship and you ain't bringing anything to the table. All right, you're using your friends, you're ill-treating them, you're not trying to do things for them, you're always trying to get them to do things for you. It's about, I look at what people bring to the table. Somebody could make me laugh. Somebody who, I don't know, who's helpful, or somebody's good to talk to, or somebody who's super smart, really intelligent, and you can get great, you can have great conversation with.
Yes, amen. I heard that.
Yeah, it might be somebody you want to go clubbing with. It's different. I've got different friends for different reasons, and
yes,
it's
amen.
because they bring something to the table,
right.
and just as I bring something to the table. Now, the other thing to consider is what I call negative energy. Now, if you're feeling negative energy with a friend, you really shouldn't be with them. Yep. That's not a good friendship. You're both absorbing that. You're absorbing it. You're acting a certain way. They're absorbing it. They're acting back a certain way. So it's also avoiding that negative energy, because that when that enters into your life, it doesn't just enter into you with that person. It enters into your life, your mood, your, you know, it might be that they're calling you, and all of a sudden now you're thinking, oh, you know, damn, I've got to go and answer this call now because she wants this and this and this. If that's how it is, that's not a friendship. That's, you know, they're an acquaintance. There's somebody you know. You know, they're not, like I said before about being on the same page. You're not on that same page with you, and it's certainly not bringing something of value to that friendship. And like I said, it could be different things. It doesn't have to be it doesn't just have to be somebody that you can talk to. It could be just somebody you can have a laugh with. But understand, you yourself have to understand why that person's in your life, and stop trying to make them into something else. Don't try and make them to be that party person, or don't try and kind of make them feel simple for not understanding or getting into that serious conversation with you. You know who they are. It's like I think I heard on your last Zoom meeting where somebody said, you know, you read the label, it's there. It's there in front of you. You know who that person is. So why are you going to try and open the bottle and empty out and put in different ingredients and call it the same thing? It's not going to happen. So yeah, friendship for me is about bringing something to the table. And I always make sure I check myself and make sure that I am bringing something to the table in that relationship. And I also know that anytime I can walk away from somebody, I know that I've given it everything that I have. I have given that relationship what's necessary. And when I say giving it what I have, I've given it what I have without giving up part of myself. Because you can give up part of yourself in trying to keep that relationship going. So it's giving up, but not part of yourself. And then it's time to, you know, you can just say goodbye and you don't feel a way about it. You can still see them in the street and say, hello, how are you doing? Because you know that, you know, you brought good to the relationship or good to that friendship, and you didn't give that negative energy and you didn't absorb it. You've walked away, and you can say hi and nice seeing you. As simple as that. So I can't say there are too many people, even though they're not part of my friend group, so to speak. There aren't too many people to say, you know, that I can say that I can walk down the street and say, boy, you know what? Really don't like that person. You know, I can't think of anybody that springs to mind.
That's
that, you know, who was
good.
once a friend. You know, who was once a friend. Even in ex-relationships, it's the same thing. It's like, you know, I can walk down the street and say hi and hold my head up high and walk forward.
Yeah.
And again, it's about knowing yourself and knowing who you are and what you bring to the table.
And that's exactly what I was going to say, Maureen, on the tail end of that. When you get to that state where you know who you are, and I mean from the crown of your head to the sole of your feet, only then, and that comes from the whole process of elimination. And that can be family, that can be clutter, your attitude, everything that has brought you to who you are today, your surroundings, your environment, all those things are fundamental aspects of the way you live your life. Because people or persons or behaviors or situations or events or episodes, everything that you endure along your life path plays a big role in your outlook in life. Everything. There's not one thing that isn't going to contribute, whether it has a negative or a positive contribution. It's going to contribute to your outlook on life. So I'm mindful of the time. Let me just have a sip of water. One moment. And I always like to give these little exercises for people. But before I give them, or give it. Is there anyone that would like to say anything in addition to what they've heard? You don't have to if you don't want to, but if you do, the platform is there for you to do that. So I'm just going to read this.
Hi, Diane, sorry, it's a street
Pastor
pastor here. Yeah, no, I want to say hi to everybody. What I'm sitting here is like the right recipe for me, because it's the no, everybody's saying some part of what I've experienced this evening, and it's so good that, you know, each one is talking about their own experience. And I love what you said, that people, friends are at a different level for a reason, and we have to know who we are. And I've been in an experience just 2 years ago where I had to let some friends that I've known from back in the days, because where I am right now, it's made me have to look at myself in such a way to say, why am I hanging around with this group? It wasn't to be a bad way, it's just someone passed away. And what it was, we've been all friends, we're supposed to be like sisters, but one had a sudden death and it caused a rift. And my part on this, I have to take some blame, because as I'm a giver and I always love helping, you know, I've been, and as a way, I had to learn a very hard lesson from this, that, you know, you're going to help and that, but then you realize certain friends now starting to show their true colors, as much as you've been friends for so many years, and you've been, I'm a sister, and how could you think about me in this manner? And yes, I'm going to be truthful, I was stink with vexedness, but I didn't cuss them, because at the time I knew I had to listen and take that abrupt beating there, because of, I had to understand, where are they coming from with this, when we all got the message at the same time. And what happened, they didn't know there was another conflict argument was going on with me and the daughter. So I thought, let me go and see the daughter, because they live in country, they wasn't in London. Let me go and see the daughter, because she was saying some things that was very hurtful, and I needed to see her one-to-one. So I went and made the journey, came back, and then when I came back, I was going to be honest with all the sisters and say I did go, and it caused a lot of argument. I got cuss out, stink, everything. And I just was like livid, you know, because I said, thank God I'm baptized, because if I wasn't, I would have gone with my little gangster way and go for them and tell them about them underneath, whatever. But there was something in my spirit said, no, you are vexed, but let them go on, because if that's how they feel about you, that's the lesson you need to learn, because probably God is trying to take something away from you, but you're holding on because you're thinking we're all the same group and we got the same love, but you didn't realize all this time they were your enemies in front of you. So for me, oh, you did mute. For
Yeah,
me,
sorry. I just wanted to say before you continue, you said the words, they were your enemies, and what I wanted to say when you, off the back of that, is that when you said that you went up there and they cuss you out and stuff like that, this is what you see with this process of elimination. Before we get to the elimination, there's a process, and that process is the plan of action. Now, I want to ask you, before you embarked on that journey, did you just go up there with an end, with an outcome, but not plan your whole?
No, it wasn't meant to be planning anything. It's just the issue was between me and my daughter, my friend's daughter. There was something went on years ago, and when she brought it up, I thought, no, this is not right. She shouldn't be feeling like this. And I know she just lost her mom. This is a conversation between me and her. It wasn't meant to the other girls them to know anything about that. This was a personal thing. This is where I made my mistake. because I thought by being honest and say, I went and see her, but there was that other issue I went to talk about. I didn't go to arrange no funeral or anything like that. I just had a personal issue, but my fault was I went and opened my mouth and said, I went and saw the daughter. This is where the argument started. So it was my fault. I shouldn't have said anything because that situation was between me and the daughter. It wasn't anything about we're going down together as friends to see the daughter separately. This was a personal issue, but I'd have thought mention it to say, I'm trying to talk to her, because what it was also, she didn't want nobody turning up for her mom's funeral. So that was all into it as well. But I wasn't going to make no arrangement. I just wanted to see where she's at, you know, with nobody interfering, because she's the only daughter. She hasn't got no family and that. So it's just, I needed to know where and why she's behaving in the way she was. But it did hurt me in a way. Me and the daughter got on, we sorted out our difference and everything. And I said, well, if you're going to go ahead with the funeral, let us know, and I let the others them know. But I should have kept quiet on that part and let them just wait for the news from her.
I do have a question.
Sorry, Mo, go on.
So I just wanted to ask, was it Galaxy? I just wanted to ask, you must have got some kind of feeling about, you know, the person or them on the lead up to this situation that where it ended there. You must have got some feeling. And that's where I'm talking about the negative energy. You must have got something on the lead up to this.
Well, that's why I said it was my fault, because even though the argument was between me and the daughter, it wasn't nothing to do with the others. This was just something I went to deal with personally on my own. But I shouldn't have opened my mouth. This is where my backfire.
Everything has a cause. Everything has a cause. There's cause and effect. And I'm going to say this to you, based on what I'm hearing you say to me. If we just take stock of how that one, you know, the fact that you, as you keep saying, you shouldn't have opened your mouth, it had this ripple effect.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever it was, that lid could have stayed securely shut.
Yeah.
But you opened your mouth. I don't know if you gave it thought or if it opened it and it was too late to withdraw. And you know what? There must have been, every action has a reaction. So for you to have opened your mouth in that crucial moment and say the most, I don't know, I'm going to call it a secret then, that should have never been told. You gave way. You gave way for this tsunami.
Yeah.
You were the root cause, if you like, for what happened after.
Yeah, I should have known my limits.
But maybe,
Diane,
maybe Diane, something didn't sit well with that lady, so it was upsetting her, so she had to speak out. So she had to get it off her chest and let it be known to that person that it's affecting her in that way, so she had to speak out. Maybe that could have been it.
Yeah.
But can I just say, Pastor Lloyd, so I know you very well, so part of what you're saying as well, because part of my journey, okay, so I've said things, I wouldn't say, so it's taught me how to deal with situations now. So you're saying, oh, you know, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe. So with myself, my past, especially 2018, I went on that journey where I had to stick up for myself. I had to say certain things. I acted a certain way, which upon reflection now, I wouldn't do now. So my peace of mind, my peace, because when you react to such people or to people in certain ways, it drains your energy. It takes away that peace. So now I can honestly say, from eliminating those people from my life, I'm at peace with myself, and I now know how not to deal with. You know, I know how to deal with what to avoid, and I know myself even more. They've helped me in a way with their negativity to get to know myself, and also to draw me nearer to God as well. So in everything I do, I walk with God, and I know, you know, you're an amazing lady. So can I just say thank you for, you know, I'm so blessed that I've met you, because I know your heart is pure. Yeah, and that it's lessons learned. We go through these experiences, whether it's good or bad in life. They're here to teach us, and and I'm glad you're talking about elimination, Diana, because it is about eliminating people, eliminating, you know, our certain thoughts in our minds, our actions. It's about reflection and moving forward from what we've learned. It's about lessons.
Yeah, it's definite lessons. That's why I'm saying I agree with some things, but when we own our own ownership to our faults, then we can learn to grow. But I also saw that probably it's time for me to have a separation from the group completely now. And I've done that. So what I'm saying, the growth has done me some good. This situation has done me good because it's made me know you are you, you've made a fault, you can apologize, but I pray and forgive them. But if I saw them, I wouldn't walk straight past them, because you're talking friendship that went on, like what Diane was saying, for years. But somewhere along the line, there's a journey that has to stop for a moment so that I move to where I need to go. So in a way, it seemed like it's come in my favor, but it hasn't in a way, but it's strengthened me in a way to be more positive, but to be watchful in the future what I say to anybody. Because my problem is as well, I'm too honest. And that's why I said there's some things I shouldn't have said. So
can I also say, Pastor Loy, and I'm going to say this to everyone,
yeah,
that oh God, my train of thought has just gone. Train of thought has just gone. Lord God.
it will come back.
Okay, so in this world that we live in, we have to come up, you know, with the wheat and the tares, so to say. Yeah. And just like if you look at a tree outside that grows through the process, autumn, summer, winter, fall. Yeah. It has to go through them seasons. Yeah. And we know, because we've learned to measure and calculate the seasons here on earth, that we have a quarter of autumn, a quarter of winter, a quarter of spring, and a quarter of summer. Yeah. So we know through that calculation that we have those 4 seasons. Yeah. In our life, we also have them seasons. They may not be quarterly, but they're there. And those seasons are exactly the process for progress. Are you with me?
Yeah.
And in those seasons, whenever they show up, in whatever way they show up, they will go through the same elimination to come right back around. And during that process where you're eliminating, it doesn't even have to be externally, internally as well, because it's forcing you to take a look at yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Definitely, I agree.
So that's why the season is very important. And that season, with that season comes growth.
Yeah.
Whether it's a growth for them or a growth for you. Because even though you've made these choices of action that, you know, it was you maybe it's a good thing, since certain things have happened, you've seen how your life has, you know, gone on the up. And what we tend to find what we tend to find happening in our life is that when we get to that place where we have to let go, we have to go through working with ourselves, because we have to now know we are without that thing. That thing played a part in our life. We had a routine with that thing. Yeah. No matter how much time we spent with it, it had a place in our life, in our everyday life. Yeah. So we now have got to adapt to that thing no longer being there, and a lot of the time we circumvent situations to fit in, right? To fit in. And we also have to be honest in our journey. We have seen, they call them red flags. You said that it took this situation to happen before you realized that you was walking with the enemy. And I want to say that enemy showed themselves to you many times, and you turned a blind eye to it. You was like, nah, gone over with head. Yeah. So we're not going to look at blame. We're just going to stick with the identification of ownership, accountability, and responsibility. So for you've recognized that this group of people no longer fit into your life at this minute, because you're going through training right now, because you've hit a different chapter of your life and you've identified it. And there are people and things and attitudes that no longer fit. And that's okay. You see, because you've identified it, you're in a healthy position. So many people don't want to accept they're in denial, and they will continue to point the finger outwardly because they don't want to change. And as I said, I was in a conversation with my friend earlier, and I said, you see, change is the only thing that remains constant. Yeah. Whether you want to stay stuck, the world is still going to keep moving. Things are going to start changing, as we know from this present situation that we're in right now. So,
and it's been good. It's been good for me in a way, because it's made me more healthy, as you said, but more happy within myself. For a very long time, I wasn't happy, and I couldn't pin why. But then when I understand, I said, because of you, you're in a different league altogether. Not saying I'm better than them.
No, not
it's
at
just
all.
a process. It's just a process where I'm going, and there's other things I want to look at differently, because I always feel every year your life must make a process, a different change. There must be something you must be seeing different within yourself. So it's now where all my girls are all big now. They got their own house. So now it's about me finding myself now, because I haven't got that responsibility. Now it's about who is really loyal now.
It's
you know
so
what I mean?
funny.
I'm a grandmother, I'm a mother, who am I?
Marilyn, are you sure she wasn't in your house today when I was speaking to you? Because you just echoed exact conversation that I had with a lady on this platform. Exactly.
The seed was planted in each of us. That's what that was. Weird, isn't it?
You know what? You guys may see me sit here, but I swear to you, I'm just being used as a vessel right now. You understand me? And I enjoy what I do, number one, wholeheartedly. The way the world has, the turn of events that have happened have afforded me to be able to do what I'm doing today and on a Saturday. And when I hear people like yourself, Pastor Lloyd, Maureen, Marilyn, whoever contributes on any given platform, Junior, what it says to me is this, that people are fed up with not speaking out. Yeah, because you just gone past caring now. It's like you either take it or leave it, or like it or lump it. But this is my truth. And one thing the truth does, it sets you free and it makes you happy. It should make you happy, because if it doesn't, then there's parts of you that still need to declutter somewhere. Yeah, because you shouldn't be feeling like you're in shackles or in bondage in any way. The truth really does set you free, and it starts with self first. Don't look for an external action to happen. What will happen externally is it will make you question, hold on a minute, something ain't right here. That's what it will do first and foremost. But the process starts with self. Yeah? If you're waiting for that external thing to be the reason of your elimination, you're going to be sitting down, because you've already been given the insight to make the change, but you're choosing not to take the first step and pointing the finger of blame. So therefore, you're not moving anywhere. You're stagnant. You think you are, but you're not. So I just want to read something because I'm mindful of the time, and it's important that I respect people have given up their time. This is one thing I like with my co-hosts, that hopefully you guys who don't know them will get to meet them on the next platform. But if you've watched the videos with us, that teamwork is what makes the dream work. And, you know, it's about respecting others. Because you respect yourself, people automatically will respect you. It's like quantum physics. It just goes without saying. Yeah? So I want to read this before I go and before I say bye to you all. And it's by a lady called Jewel Diamond Taylor. And it talks about, it reads this: when you don't have a grip on life, it will definitely get a grip on you. Life is a mystery, unfold it. A journey, walk it. Painful, endure it. Beautiful, see it. A joke, laugh at it. A song, sing it. A flower, smell it. Wonderful, enjoy it. A candle, light it. Precious, don't waste it. A gift, open it. Love, give it. Unlimited, go for it. Light, shine in it. And you all are that life is. Everything I just read, I hope you caught the gist of it, but you all are that. And at no time in your life from this moment onwards, I'm hoping, should you ever feel that you are captive or made captive to anything that is paralyzing you, stagnating you, stunting you, making you feel less of who you are, and causing you to doubt anything about yourself. The minute it does that, process of elimination. Okay? So I thank you all for giving me your time once again. I'll be back next week. This platform is being recorded, and I will send it out once it's been converted. I also want to say to you all, start making those steps right here as you come off. Sit down, do an inventory of where you are, where you see yourself, probably 12 months, I don't know, put that, you can play with the time, where you see yourself, and the things that you need to do in order to get there. But please don't think like this: if I don't have this, I can't have that. Yeah? And if I have that, I can't have this. Everything is strategically well thought about and put together, and it's about realistic thinking about the things you want to achieve. So in order for you to get there, the process will lead to progression or not. Okay? So it's good night from me. I'm going to go on my evening stroll. And I just want to thank you all individually. Junior, Leonie, Mel, I hope you felt all that love.
My darling. And just saying good night to everybody. I might not know you all, but in time we will get to know each other.
We will, definitely. All right, Janice, Jack Cuz, Alex Fitzpaster, Lloyd.
Thanks,
Thank
Diana.
you.
Steph.
Bye, everybody.
Talk to you soon, Marilyn, too.
Yes, my
Yes.
darling. You take care. Stay
Good
blessed and
night.
stay safe. Diane, you
Good night,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Mwah.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.
Bye, babe.
Bye.